Hey there, it's Joy Foster, founder of Tech Pixies and host of the Sparkle and Thrive podcast. I am sitting at my kitchen counter right now, and it is an empty house. I have been able to come home today from going for a cycle with my family and having lunch by the river, and I'm getting stuck in on some work, and I thought I'd take a minute or two to just film a quick podcast because I wanted to follow up from last week when I talked about the messy middle. So as a reminder, for those of you who don't know about the messy middle is that place where you are after you've started to pursue a dream that matters to you, and you know where you are and you know where you want to be, but you are working it out. You are bridging the dream, right? So when you start out, this is where I am, this is where I want to be. How you get there is the challenge. And that's what we like to call the messy middle. Because in the messy middle, there's not a lot of clarity. There's a lot of soul searching. There's a lot of self-discovery. And it's a place that needs support, and it needs coaching and guidance. And that's what Tech Pixies does. So when someone decides that they want to return to work, change careers, or start a business, and they would like to leverage social media in order to do that, that's what we help them do. That's what we guide women through, that messy middle, as they go from someone who maybe is afraid to post on social media or doesn't feel confident with their social media skills, or maybe is using social media but doesn't know what they don't know. We help them to get to that place where actually very confidently they know what they're doing, they can do it with their eyes shut, and they're really good at it. And we have so many incredible success stories of women who have gone through the messy middle and come out the other side. One thing I didn't talk about in the Messy Middle podcast was some of the thoughts and emotions that come up as you move through from where you are now to where you want to be. So we know there's a messy middle, but how do we deal with the messy middle from an emotional standpoint? So last week I talked about, from a social media technical standpoint, here are the 7 things you need to know about social media, right? So that was the social media success. That was the Foster Foundations for Social Media Success that I walked you through. And I talked about understanding the algorithm, how it works. I talked about setting up your profile properly. I talked about posting properly. I also talked about growing your accounts and growing engaged accounts, understanding your analytics, pre-scheduling. So we talked about all of that last week. So those are the practical how-to. What do I need to know how to do on social media? How does social media work? But there's another layer, and this is a layer that most people are not even aware of. And I can't tell you the number of people who come into our program wanting to learn how to use social media, and when we ask them, what they gained from the program, when they're finished with the program, we ask them what they gained the most. They always inevitably will say, the social media training was great, but oh my gosh, I didn't even know I needed life coaching. I didn't even know I needed that kind of support, right? The neuro coaching, the life coaching. And this is really important because at Tech Pixies, we could teach you everything we know about social media. My coaches can teach you absolutely everything they know. I can teach you everything I know. But if you don't have the confidence to use it, it doesn't matter. So it's really important that we understand what's stopping you from posting on social media, what's stopping you from engaging with social media, what's stopping you from leveraging social media to return to work, change careers, or start a business. And there's all sorts of things that stop us from moving forwards. And I thought I would just walk you through a bit of how it works, because a lot of people are not even aware of this. And that's the beauty of our program, is we help you to understand what it is you're dealing with in terms of a block and help you to overcome it. So I'm a master neuro coach. I was certified by Dr. Shannon Irvin, and I've done hundreds of hours of coaching, helping women through blocks that hold them back. And there is a common theme that comes up. And I thought on this podcast, I would also give you the gift of a brain prime at the end. So if you stay with me till the end of this podcast, you'll get an example of a brain prime that I would suggest someone do if they were dealing with the automatic negative thought that I'm going to walk you through now. So let's say someone's about to use social media. They're fired up, they're ready to go, they want to use it, and then they go to craft the post or to schedule it or to post it on social media, and they know they have to put a picture of themselves, and they have to put their story, and they have to put a hashtag, and they have to put themselves out there. And they suddenly freeze, or they can't find the words, or they can't figure out what picture to use, or they don't know which hashtags to use. And so suddenly this becomes, what is a simple welcome post, and here's who I am, and this is what I'm all about, and this is what I'm doing, becomes so overwhelming that they don't post anything at all. And this is the thing that people don't understand, is why is it so hard for me to actually hit the go button on social media? Why is it so hard for me to put myself out there? And I know what this feels like, because I know what it's like to not want to put yourself out there on social media. It was a lot easier when I had babies to just post about the babies. It feels weird, in your 40s to post a selfie or to create a video and put it out there about your thoughts. And that's because we didn't grow up in a generation where that was a normal thing to do. Our children, those of you who have children, I have a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old, they're dying to be on YouTube. They want to be on YouTube. They want to have a YouTube channel. We're the ones holding them back, right? So there's something that's happened generationally between the people that are in their 20s and younger, who've grown up with their pictures on social media, and the people who are in their 40s and 50s and 60s. But I'm here to tell you that I've worked with enough women to know that if you can overcome this fear of posting on social media, the whole world opens up to you. The whole world literally opens up to you. So how does it work? And what's the main thought that holds a lot of people back? So last week when I talked about the messy middle, I said, the messy middle is you know where you are and you know where you want to be. The messy middle is the in-between, right? It's when you're figuring it out. You're figuring out how to, let's say, use social media. You haven't yet figured it out, but you're starting to learn. You've got coaching and support, maybe through Tech Pixies, and you're working it out. You're figuring it out. When you go to actually post, your subconscious is the area that's going to control what actually happens. So if your subconscious says, I'm not worthy, or I'm not loved, or I'm not safe, then you will not take action if you believe those three things. So let's say someone wants to start a new business and they think that they're not worthy of setting up their own business, or they want to change careers and they think, I'm not worthy of changing careers, or they want to return to work and they think, I'm not worthy of returning to work. This is a common an automatic negative thought that I see a lot, is the I'm not worthy. And so at the end of this podcast, I'm going to give you a brain prime to help you deal with the I'm not worthy statement, because that is a very fundamental statement. Now, the other statements are I'm not loved and I'm not safe. And if at any point in your childhood you felt not worthy, not loved, or not safe, then these are ants that will creep up later on in life, because they solidify themselves in your brain as a child. Now, that does not mean they need to stay that way. They can change, and you can rewrite a neurological pathway that says, I am worthy, I am loved, and I am safe. So why is this so important? Because there might be other issues that come up, but if you don't have the fundamentals of I am worthy, I am loved, and I am safe, then it's going to be really hard to progress with other things in your life, because this will be the big ant that stops you. This will be the big ant that prevents you from moving forwards on anything else. So let's talk about worthiness, because that's probably one of the areas I see the most, right? And really, when it comes to worthiness, a lot of times it has to do with getting paid. So you have to remember that women, until the last 100 years, were not paid for any of the work that they did. They always did unpaid work. And that is generational. But it's not just like one generation, 2 generations. It's thousands of years of generational programming that we don't earn money. So it's very normal that when you think about setting up your own business, or when you think about going and getting a job after a career break, or even if you're going to upskill, to return to work, that you don't think that you're worthy of investing in you, or you don't think that you're worthy of being paid, because we have been programmed as women, generation upon generation, that we aren't worthy of being paid, that actually we are supposed to do things for free for everyone. And this is something that is very hard to break, especially if it's rooted in your subconscious. So let's just take the concept of, I am worthy of being paid, or I am worthy of this dream that I want to pursue, right? So let's start with, I'm worthy of being paid. So if you've had a break from being paid, it can feel really, really awkward to start getting paid again. And charging what you're worth is really important. We have a whole podcast series on charging what you're worth, earning what you're worth. And so if you haven't listened to that yet, please go listen to that, because it's very, very valuable content, and we'll link to it in the show notes. But if you can reflect on your life, and you can think of any time in your life where you were paid for a job done, then you can remind your brain, I am worthy of getting paid for the work that I do. So some women may have never worked and earned money, but most women will have had a time in their life where they have earned some money for something, even though we come from generations of women who didn't get paid to work. So it's important that your brain knows that at some point in my career, I was paid, right? And therefore, I am worthy of being paid again. Now, for women who invest in themselves and they upskill in a particular skill, and they've invested time and energy and effort and money into learning something new so that they can be a better employee or bring more to the table, then you've got brain-based evidence that says you're worthy of being paid because you've invested in yourself. Just like the college graduate is worthy of getting a job that pays because they've invested in their college education, right? So if you invest in training and then you're using that training to bring value to someone else, you're worthy of being paid for it, because you took the step of making the investment in that training. So I'm worthy of being paid is a really important one, especially for women. And if you believe that you're worthy of being paid, then you will seek out paid work. Whereas if the automatic negative thought is I'm not worthy of being paid, then you won't seek out paid work and you'll continue to work for free. And a lot of women work for free. And it's not a great long-term strategic plan to financial independence, right? Working for free is a great long-term plan for frustration. And I get that there's a place for volunteering, right? I totally get that. But very often there's never a line drawn between volunteering and working for free. And it's very important to me that we start to draw that line as women. And we start to say, yes, I'm going to take on this volunteer activity. This is the number of hours I'm going to put into it. This is the number of weeks I'm going to put into it. This is the number of months I'm going to put into it. And then I'm going to get what I need out of that opportunity to then move on to the next one. And you leverage what you learned in order to do the next thing. So I'm worthy of being paid is really, really important. The other one is I'm worthy of this dream. And here's the deal. It's not Are you worthy of the dream? Is the dream worthy of your time, energy, effort, and money, right? Is it worthy of your time, energy, effort, and money? If you're going to upskill with social media and your dream is to become a social media manager, well, that dream came from you. It came from your heart. It came from who you are. So it already has picked you. So it's not, are you worthy of it? It's, is it worthy of your time, energy, effort, and money? And in the vision workshop that we run, I give people 5 questions to help them work out if their dream is worthy of their time, energy, effort, and money. The first question is, does it light me up? The second question is it in alignment with my core values? The third question is, does it require me to grow? And we're reminded of a blade of grass coming up through cement with an angel whispering over it, grow, grow, grow. Do I know everything I need to know in order to do this? Meaning, do I need help from a higher power? That could be from a mentor. That could be from God, the universe, infinite intelligence. I was at church this morning and they were talking about prayer, and they were talking about the power of just saying to God, this is what I would love, and letting it go and understanding that God's got your back. Now, I know not everyone listening to this is a Christian, but I have had so much faith and hope over the years because I've believed in that. Because I've believed that you can put it out there, what you would love to have happen, and the universe conspires to make it happen. That's what Paulo Coelho said in The Alchemist. It's such a beautiful thing. When you look back and you reflect on all the blessings in your life, all the things that you wanted to work out, and eventually they do work out. That's brain-based evidence that it is possible for something else to work out again. And we can also look back at situations that didn't work out, and we can be thankful that they didn't work out. I was reading a book by the founder of PayPal, and he was saying that his dream and ambition was to be a clerk for the Supreme Court in America. And he made it all the way to the final stages, and then at the very end, he wasn't selected. And he went on to build PayPal instead. If he'd been selected as a clerk, he never would have started PayPal. And there's a lot of businesses, startups, that have done amazing things in this world that came out of PayPal, right? So the question, does it require help from a higher power? It's really asking you, do I know all the things I need to do to get there? And if the answer is no, then yes, you do need help from a higher power. And that's why we built the Tech Pixies program. We understand social media. We want you to understand social media. We want to help you understand social media. And we can help you do that. So the 5th question is there good in it for others? Is there good in it for others? Is what I'm doing going to benefit other people? And if the answer to all 5 of those questions is yes, then it's worth doing. It's worthy of your time, energy, effort, and money. And then we have to make a decision and decide that we're going to move forward with that dream and take action. So I'm worthy is a really, really important statement. And as I promised you, at the end of the podcast, I said I would give you a brain prime for I'm worthy. I have heard so many people say to me, I just don't know where to start with brain priming. So for those of you who don't know brain priming is a way of preparing your brain. That's why it's called brain priming. First thing in the morning, last thing at night, when it is at its most plastic state. And it is about creating a new way of thinking so that you override the old way of thinking. And according to the research that Dr. Shannon Irvin did when she was building her theory, it was that it takes 67 days for a new neurological pathway to overtake an old neurological pathway. So, for example, if you've been thinking, I'm not worthy of setting up my own business, or I'm not worthy of being paid, then doing a brain prime first thing in the morning, last thing at night, around why you are worthy of being paid or why you are worthy of setting up your business can help you to, number one, reprogram the subconscious to say, I am worthy of this, get to work, right? The subconscious has no humor, sense of humor. It has no free will. It just does whatever it's told. So by doing a brain prime, we're setting the scene for our brain to say, this is what I believe, right? Thoughts and emotions repeated over and over again create a belief system. We make decisions to take action or to not take action from that belief system. And then we get results. If you don't take action, you're going to get a certain type of result. If you do take action, you're going to get another kind of result. So what kind of result do you want? Work back from there. Do I take action? Do I not take action? What's causing me to take action or not take action? What are the thoughts that are there? So that's what a brain prime is. You listen to it first thing in the morning, last thing at night for 67 days. So if I was crafting a brain prime around worthiness, what I would do is I would first and foremost write out, what is it that I don't feel I'm worthy of, right? I'm not worthy of this job. I'm not worthy of this paycheck. I'm not worthy of this business that I want to start. Whatever it is, write down, I'm not worthy of ... And then I want you to think about what it would feel like to tell someone that you love that they're not worthy of their dreams, that they're not worthy of being paid, that it's okay to work 20 hours a week for free, right? That they should just give up on everything that they love because they're not worthy of it. You would never say that to someone. So that's called refuting. So the first stage is we recognize, I'm not worthy of blah, blah, blah. And then we refute it. And we say, as if we're saying it to our best friend, our daughter, our son, our niece, our nephew, our godson, our goddaughter, our grandchildren. You don't say it to them in person, but you say it to them as if you were talking to them. So neither one of my children are in the room right now. And I could say to them, you're not worthy of that dream that you would love. You're not worthy of earning money, right? My daughter, when she grows up, you're not worthy of being paid to do that work. You would never say that. We would never say that, right? So then we have to reframe it. We have to reframe the thought, and we have to say why we are worthy of it. So when it comes to a dream, one of the things that we can say is, I'm worthy of this dream because this dream picked me. It came to me. And I get to choose whether or not I want to put my time, energy, effort, and money into it. I don't breathe myself. I don't make my heart beat. Life picked me. And now I get to pick what I do with this life. And this is a dream that's come to me, which means it's a dream that's meant for me, which means it's time to decide that I'm worthy of this dream. So I'm going to take one action step today in the direction of the dream and trust that by taking that action step, that there's a plan, that the universe, that God will conspire to help bring this plan about. I am worthy of this dream. I am worthy of everything that life wants to bring my way. I deserve a good life. I deserve a whole, loving, safe, beautiful life. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am living my dream. taking action every day towards the thing that I would love, and knowing that it picked me and I get to choose whether it's worthy of my time, energy, effort, and money. I am worthy. And then you listen to that every day. First thing in the morning, last thing at night. You can do it while you're brushing your teeth. You can do it while you're putting on your pajamas and taking off your pajamas. You can do it on the toilet. I don't mind when you do it, but I care that you do it. First thing in the morning, last thing at night. And you just start to believe that you are worthy of this life and all the beautiful, wonderful, amazing things in it. And if social media is part of that plan for you, well, Tech Pixies is the right place to be, because we help you not only learn how to use social media, learn how to leverage social media to return to work, change careers, or start a business, but we also teach you how to leverage your mind in order to do it in a way that will be transformational. And I believe that with all my heart. Last week, I received the most incredible letter from one of our students who went through our program while she was in lockdown. And I thought I'd share it with you because I wanted you to hear that you can change your life with social media, with brain priming, with Tech Pixies. Here's what she had to say. Hi, Joy. I absolutely loved your podcast on minimum viable social media posting. I actually cried while listening. You know me. I've struggled so much with posting. It's not often, but I love it when I do. I'm getting fired up to go live very soon. My first in all this time. Your words just resonated with me. I literally stopped thinking about other people's posts and my aunt's. I needed to hear this tonight. The timing was perfect. Although not posting much, I wanted you to know that my work with you is still changing my life. I've recently had an interview and had an article written about my work in a magazine. I was interviewed live with another trainer and was on the radio for the second time. I currently have 42 clients a week, and although not huge, my Instagram following has raised from 60 at the start of Tech Pixies to over 500. I've even had 409 views of my latest post. I just wanted to say thank you again. I may have been a slow starter, but you've truly succeeded in helping me become the magnet that I am. Take care. Lots of love. Sarah. I share this note because it means so much to me. I remember Sarah when she started our program, and I remember the ants that made it very challenging for her to create posts. And I see what she does now and the impact that she has now on the people around her, on the animals she works with. She's a canine massage therapist. And it is absolutely incredible. And now her work is being shared on social media, and she's helping dog owners all over the world treat their dogs better. So if we were to put Sarah's dream of helping dogs through the 5-point test, does it light her up? Yes, it does. Is it in alignment with her core values? Yes, it is. Did she require help from a higher power in order to do what she wanted to do with it? Yes, she did. She needed help from Tech Pixies. Was there good in it for others? Absolutely. The work she does transforms the lives of dogs and therefore their dog owners. And does it require her to grow? Did it require her to grow? Yes, it did. But Sarah leaned into learning how to use social media, and she leaned into learning how to change the way she thinks. And it's that combination that transformed her life and the lives of the people around her, particularly our furry friends. So if this podcast resonated with you, please email me at support@techpixies.com. Share your thoughts with me. I'm super curious. We've been testing out this Fly Solo podcast series where I talked about the minimum viable social media posting plan, where I talked about the messy middle, and today where I talked about being worthy. If this resonated with you, I would love to know more. And I'd also love to give you the I'm Worthy Brain Prime, which you can find at techpixies.com/I am worthy. And then you can download that and listen to it first thing in the morning, last thing at night, and do it for 67 days. That was the last piece that I didn't go into, but 67 days, first thing in the morning, last thing at night. And that will rewrite your neurological pathway that says you are worthy of a beautiful, wonderful, amazing life. Thank you for listening.